YouTube, Brian Phillips. We got a garbage bag. We're gonna open it today. That was the easiest unboxing. What do we have here? We have an Eachine E129, and you're like, didn't you do one that was like the Eachine 120 or something like that? Yes, I did. This one has a nice big rip in the box. Looks like this thing has probably seen better shipments. This has altitude control. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. 15-minute flight time, age 14 plus. Obviously, it's got a 6-axis gyro, 1-key landing. What? 4 channels, ready to fly. Okay, lots of assertions here we're going to be able to test. Hopefully, we don't have to depend on the Chinese manual that's in pretend English. Okay, so far, manual, color manual. Looks to be pretty good. Of course, it's actually looks like it might be a decent manual. That's always good.
We'll see.
Looks like we're gonna need 4 AA's. Okay. All right, so this is pretty cool. I'm excited to see this. Looks like the package, so far the damage doesn't look like it's broken anything yet. That's always good. Okay, so that thing actually survived. What do we have here? We've got the Eachine transmitter, very light. Feels like nothing's in there. That's kind of weird.
It's pretty simple.
Very simple. 2 top buttons, trim buttons. Feel how light that is. It's like weighs nothing. That's very weird. I like the shape of the helicopter. It's got a little symbol that shows it's got some sort of a sensor, probably a barometer, because I don't see any sort of receiver. It's not full collective pitch, because basically you aren't going to be able to fly this one upside down. Looks like the battery slips in here nicely, and there's a plug at the front of it. That's weird. This is a different battery. Cool. Look at that.
That's the battery.
Yeah. That's weird. It's got like a micro USB plug battery.
Oh.
So that's going to be so easy to put in.
No kidding.
Look at this. I don't really know if I buy the idea of having this specially made battery, although that is really easy to put in. Okay, well, it came with 4 batteries. Well, they don't all come with 4. The one that I'll link to in the description below will be what I got, but I think you can get it with less. Well, that's weird. Like, you don't even need a special charger, I don't think. Look.
Yeah.
It's so weird. USB charger. The input's 5 volts at 0.5 to 2, and the output's 3.7 volts at 500 milliamp hours. 3.7 volts? That's weird. Normally you would be charging these LiPos at 4.2 volts, because that's what you're trying to get it to.
But could you use just like your phone charger then, if you have that?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. Let's charge these right now so we can have one done. Looks like we've got this power supply going. So this is 5 volts at 1 amp on this particular port. So we're gonna plug that in. So there's a little red light that flickered, and I'm just gonna go like this, and the red light turns on. So I guess we'll see how long that takes. Who knows? I mean, we could just try with a regular cell phone charger, but I sort of hate to catch it on fire. What? That is awesome. It came with a mouse pad that is a heli landing pad. That's super cool. I didn't actually know that was coming in there. That's really nice. Got the nice anti-slip, and it's big. That's really cool. I wonder if you have to land on that thing.
Someone is gonna steal that from you in our house.
Yeah, I think I know who. Okay, so it came with a little bag of goodies too. It looks like it came with a screwdriver, an extra tail, and it came with a couple of these linkages. Looks like 2 of them. So it came with the world's smallest Chinese screwdriver, and then of course the hex drive, okay? This is gonna be like the shortest unboxing ever. There's like no assembly whatsoever. All you have to do is stick the batteries in everything. And the batteries going in that's generally kind of a pain on these little helicopters. Okay, so we'll see how this goes. I don't know how long we're gonna have to charge this thing for. Obviously you could use this as a travel pack, but mine is a little bit pre-broken. So I will not be using that as a travel pack. But if you guys were wanting to bring that with you, then you could do it. Of course, we're gonna just throw it right there. Let's put the batteries in, you ready? This could be a short video for once.
Well, it's not over yet.
We found the cheapest, crappiest AA's we could find. The flat side goes toward the spring, and the little bump goes opposite the spring, okay? You can also just look in there for the positive mark or the minus mark and line those up. Okay, throttle. Whoa, look, it's spring return. That's weird. That's really weird.
Is it good or bad?
No, it's just weird.
Okay.
That's not the way it's supposed to be. So I gotta look at the manual here. All right, so 300 milliamp hours, about 15 minutes on the flight time.
Seems like a long flight time.
Charging battery by the USB port on a computer. Red light means it's charging, red light out means charge complete. Okay, power bank. Okay, fine. The first flight precaution. Okay, make sure these things are freeze so that they don't get jammed up. That's true. Okay, so put in your batteries. Looks like climb up, climb down, rudder left, rudder right. Where's the one-touch landing? Corresponding to step 4. See when the sticks both go out like that? Okay. Flight operation steps. Turn on the transmitter and let the helicopter stay near the transmitter. Connect the battery with helicopter. The lights on the helicopter and remote flash at the same time. Push the throttle stick to the top quickly. Remove control makes a D1 sound. What the heck is that? It makes a D?
Yeah.
And the indicator lights of the helicopter and remote control are always on, which means binding successful. Oh, jeez, it's definitely not English, it's Chinglish. Pull the 2 sticks to the outer 8 angles to start
Outer
am I reading this right?
Angles?
The
You
8
are reading it
angles.
right.
You can also press the 1 key takeoff button to take off the helicopter directly. Where's the 1 key takeoff
That
button?
doesn't sound safe.
No.
Go back. There was like a transmitter directions.
Gyro calibration. When calibrating the gyroscope, the aircraft must be placed on a level ground. The indicator light will flash quickly during the calibration process. The indicator light stops flashing on to takeoff. Tells you how to take stuff apart. That's pretty cool. Not like it's really going to be that hard to figure out. Ooh, is there a button there? Oh wow, you can actually replace the tail and everything. That's like really crazy. They actually teach you how to fix this stuff. That's amazing. Okay. All right. This is where my impatience is going to get me in trouble because did they say to have this on or not? I can't remember.
No, you're supposed to have that on.
Okay.
And then.
And then stick this in the hole?
Yep.
You guys see those 3 pins there? They stick down. We've got the battery here. You just literally slide it in. Slide it in. You just slide it right in.
Fun word.
Okay, so the binding process, you put them to all 8 corners. Okay. Whoa, buddy. Watch yourself. Everybody duck. Ready?
Jeez.
Oh boy. Up, down. Up, down. I don't know what that does, but it does something. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's scary. Are you kidding me? That is really weird. I just pressed this button and it took off and it's... Ah! Don't crash. Don't make me look like an idiot. I already do enough of that on my own. This helicopter is so easy to fly, mostly because it's flying itself. This is weird. I mean, it's like literally flying itself. Okay, all right, I wanna try the one touch. I wanna try the one touch landing and see if it works on this countertop, okay?
Okay.
That is awesome. Okay, this is pretty cool. Normally I don't like autonomous flying, but being as there's many, many children out there who are watching this video thinking, I could fly that. Yes, you could. Now this video is not made for children though, just so you know. Yeah, I know, why would it be made for children? Not looking, not looking. Please don't crash into anything. Yeah, I just pressed a button and I didn't actually do anything. Okay, I wanna see what happens. Like, does it just keep drifting? I'm gonna just trim it a little bit this way. And then back just a little bit. Just pressing down on this twice. You see how it's going backward? I'm gonna press it twice. Ah, get away from my cabinets! So I brought it out in the middle of the room and I'm gonna try the one-touch landing. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. I'm not even looking at it.
So.
Okay, this is, okay, camera crew time.
Wait,
okay.
I'm attached.
All right, my camera crew is attached. We're gonna unattach her and come back.
Sorry.
All right, here we go. So you're gonna press this button. Wait, I gotta film both. Okay, there's a cat. Do it now, do it now. Scare the crap out of it. Hey, cat, move.
Bouncer.
Press the button and he will run.
Oh, wait,
so
but
cool.
wait,
Push forward.
Forward?
Forward, like this. Oh no! What did you do? The camera crew managed to crash immediately.
I can crash anything.
Okay,
you didn't tell
so
me what to do after I took off.
all right, so we have managed to crash the helicopter and it is not destroyed, just so you know.
Okay, wait.
Now
This is takeoff.
we're gonna talk about controls.
Okay.
This moves it that way and
Okay.
the other way. So that's the yaw control.
Okay.
This goes forward, this goes backward relative wherever the helicopter is.
Forward, backward.
And then, well, this actually leans it left and leans it right. And this is the yaw control.
What's
Okay.
yaw control? Okay.
Yaw is
so
like spinning like this.
So don't really have to worry about
It's like
throttle.
this is yaw control here, folks. Okay. So yeah, so like when you press this button, it takes off, which is crazy. Now push forward so it goes forward. Yes, you're doing it. Everybody always asks me to have the camera crew fly, and she is flying. Sort of. Okay, now, gotta pull it over a little bit. See what I'm doing? I'm just holding the stick. And then pushing it away from us so we don't get hit. Come over here, and then press the button.
Oh, you press the same button again?
Yeah, and then it lands. That is so crazy that it can do that. Okay, time to screw the system up. Okay, so again, we're gonna show you just how ridiculous this is. Okay, that auto takeoff was the worst takeoff yet. And all I'm doing is just leaning it forward, or I'm leaning it left, leaning it right, leaning it forward, leaning it back, and then you can yaw the craft like this. That's yawing, okay? This is like so easy. I wanna see if it'll land in the humongous hallway. Let's see if it'll do that. This would be awesome for kids because it's really that easy. And you saw how durable it was when my camera crew tried to take it. So let's try landing on here. Let's see if it'll do it. Nope, it did not. You know why? Because that's really small.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna take off again. Okay, so now I'm in some control. I don't know if I can, I wanna see what happens when I press this top button, so cover your eyeballs.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the right button. So it looks the same. The right button. I don't know that it's any different really. It just seems like it's the same button. Or when you press it, it doesn't like go to high rate versus low rate. Oh, there was a double beep. Mm-hmm. Still feels, I mean, you can Enrique it all day long. See, it's fighting me. There's gotta be a barometer in here. That is really cool. It just went back to the same altitude. That is really cool. See, it's resisting because it's trying to get back to the altitude. Now it's working hard. It's trying to get up to the altitude. Now it's at the altitude it was. That is really cool. That is some sophisticated flight controllerage for a very small and cheap helicopter. Guys, if you haven't already ordered this for your kids for Christmas, why don't you just do it now? And when I say for your kids, I mean for yourself. And for your kids maybe too. This is crazy. I mean, we've had a lot of helicopters in our day. Not many I can walk away from.
Yeah.
And some level of impunity. All right, it's time to start screwing with it. Let's try landing in the very, very, very deep chasm that is our stairway. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so it's kind of like flying a coaxial helicopter. Okay, now this is a long ways down, so I'm probably gonna have to guide it. There's the button.
And don't land in the...
In the poo? Oh, you landed next to the poo, you little... We're gonna just move it over here. Sorry for filming poo.
There's no
One button, take off.
poo in there.
Okay, I pulled it away from the wall. There's some turbulent air, believe it or not, in this hallway. This is me now controlling it. When you start giving it input, it kind of lets you take over. Let's fly over the volcano here. Oh, that is so cool. There's a little bit of thermal energy. Very, very little though, because that's an LED. Very cool. I just can't believe how well this works. And we see a lot of very interesting things on this channel. Mm-hmm. I would say that it's quiet too.
Yeah.
It's quiet and it just feels in control. When a helicopter feels in control, you don't feel scared. Mm-hmm. Because we've flown some helicopters that are not easy to control, and they are scary.
Yeah.
Okay,
especially if you're looking for something for a kid.
And that's just crazy. That's one touch. Like literally
Like
I'm pressing a button.
Yeah.
Take back off. Do it. Do it. Uh-oh.
Wait, the red light's flashing.
It's out of battery.
Do you think?
I think. Up, down. Up, down. Yeah, it must be out of battery. Now, guys, you remember my impatient being could not tolerate waiting?
Oh, that wasn't even a
That wasn't a full
battery.
charge, not even close. So I'm laying this down over here. We're gonna keep using one more of the 4 batteries because this is really cool. I thought we were gonna have to use the mouse pad.
Okay, this says, whoops, hold
Shut
on.
off autofocus and it'll work.
Press this button. Meanwhile, turn on TX mode to change mode 1, 2. That's this button.
Oh, mode 1 or mode 2. Okay.
Is that top button. So don't change that.
So all 8 corners and then up and then down. Up, hold, then down, hold. Oh. Up, hold, then down, hold.
Wait, do you need to turn the transmitter off?
I bet I have to
and
turn
then
off the
back on?
transmitter and turn it back on. Yep.
Yep.
Up, then down. All 8 corners, up, then down. Okay, one touch. Oh, that is so cool.
That is crazy.
Okay, so this time it's kind of out of calibration a little bit because it walked back. So let's try to calibrate the gyro. So basically, instead of the stick position telling it to go up, in a collective pitch helicopter, you're changing the pitch of the blades and you're changing the rotational speed. In this case, the controller's doing all the controls. You're just saying go up or go down, okay? Let's land it. Let's actually land it ourselves this time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so if I'm on the ground and I hold the stick down, it eventually stops flying, which is a lot like some of the VTOLs actually.
Huh.
Like the JJRC VTOL or the XK450. So that is just something else. I can't believe how cool that is. And this thing is cheap too. Well, I mean, it's still relatively cheap. I mean, it's not $600 for
not that
battery and F-18. So less the controller, of course. So this thing is just incredible. Okay, so let's try calibrating the gyro and see how that works. Okay, so fine tuning, those are the trims. Did you see one for?
I thought it was in there when you first flipped through, but I don't remember.
Oh, fly yaw corrected method. Press the trimming button when helicopter has yaw problems. The helicopter has set up hovering. If you are dissatisfied with hovering or the helicopter have a yaw, please. Okay, all right, let's try the calibration. In order to avoid distractions, please confirm without other transmitters at work around. Wow.
That's really important.
I think what they're talking about is interference.
Yes.
Okay, corresponding. Okay, so let's just try this. Ooh, I don't know what that did. Okay, well that did something. Still pretty much like normal flying. There's a cat. Okay, so I want to try the one-touch landing here again. I think that basically resets the gyro. Okay, so let's try to make it look cool when we're flying. It's hard to mix the controls because the flight controller wants to fight you a little bit. But that is really cool. It's really pretty easy to fly. One thing you guys are gonna wanna watch for is that you're gonna get this helicopter and then your teeny bopper is gonna think they can fly a real one. And this is nothing like flying a real one. This is like easier than flying the little cheapy drones that you can get for 20 bucks around Christmas time. It's that good. Okay, let's land it on the H. Land. Yes. All right, this is pretty crazy. Mm-hmm. I usually don't get so excited about helicopters because this thing is like way easy to fly. And I like easy to fly helicopters. I don't like that it blew the manual over. Let's pause it. I want to find the calibration part.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we sort of cheated. I wanted to try something else here. Okay, so while holding the down arrow, once it senses that it has stopped moving, then it shuts off the motor.
Oh.
So a couple things to keep in mind is like when you crash, you can't really drop the stick to nothing because like there isn't really a nothing. It's a spring return to center. So for anybody who flies radio controlled aircraft, especially mode 2, you're used to the stick being here for throttle, and mode 1 is different. I don't even want to go into that, but mode 1 is a little bit different layout on the controls. So yes, you can switch to mode 1. It says in the manual. I'm not even going to talk about that. If you need it, just look in the manual there. But the gyro calibration, I just want to show you what we're going to do. These two arrows kind of indicate that. So if you'll watch here, see the flashing light and it beeps. Mm-hmm. Then when you let go, it's pretty much done. Mm. Okay, so one touch takeoff, it goes 1 meter above wherever it is. Okay, and it just kind of finds stable flight area, but you'll notice that it is not going to avoid obstructions. Our lights just happen to be higher. If they were lower, then it would hit the lights. Mm-hmm. So if you're in maybe a smaller room, maybe like 16-foot ceilings in the center here. So if you had like a 10-foot ceiling, then you'd be totally safe. If you had like a 8-foot ceiling, make sure you take off from the ground. What's a standard ceiling like?
8 to 9.
7, 9, or 8, 9? Okay.
Yeah.
So if they're 8, 9 for a 9-foot ceiling, then you would be totally fine. So once you hold that for about 3 or 4 seconds, it shuts off. So we'll just do it from the ground. So 1 meter should be about waist high. And I'm just keeping an eye on it because we've already hit the wall and we actually hit that column and it didn't damage anything. It did damage the blades. It didn't damage the paint, which is kind of nice. This cat is, look at this cat. This cat is like, he's like, I'm ready to eat you, says the cat. Let's see if he wants to really take it on. Ooh, he's ducking his head like he wants to attack it. No animals were harmed in this filming yet. So this thing is really cool. The E129 from Eachine, very cool. If you happen to break one of your blades, these are both labeled as A, incidentally. It did come with 2 spares. They're the same. So these are listed B. I'm not sure why that is. Oh, probably because if this is a coaxial helicopter, then you would have an A set and a B set, I guess. I don't know. Because they would work opposite. I just wonder if these are the same. Because they do appear to be backward. Let's see. Yeah, let's see, actually. That's a good question. So you'll notice the shape of these wings is this, okay? And that's called B. It happens to be identical here and identical here. So we just happen to have the same exact thing for A and B. So don't worry if you break just one, you don't have to replace both of them. You can just use the one that you broke. My experience is that when these things get chipped really bad, then you kind of have to replace them. The other thing you can do is if you chip it way out at the end, you can take a good pair of scissors and you can just trim both sides evenly. And you'll get a little bit more life out of those blades. But this is just so cool. Are you filming?
Mm-hmm. I was trying to not step on a cat.
I'm not even doing anything.
I know.
This is crazy. It's attacking the camera crew, but that's all part of the show for YouTube. I mean, nobody's flying that thing right now. That is just amazing. I'm loving this thing. We used to do this thing when we first started flying radio-controlled airplanes around the house. We had a little plane, and it was called the Inum. And the kids just loved it. I would put it in autopilot mode. Now, that plane had no autopilot, but it was mostly just a joke. And I would basically get it flying in a circle, and then I would let go of the remote, and usually we'd be playing music and dancing and things, fun things with kids. And we would go and see how long we could, fly the thing in autopilot before it crashed into something. Of course, it was like 10 grams, so it didn't do any damage. This thing is not much heavier. Obviously, this is light enough that it is not going to be requiring any sort of FAA registration. So you can fly it indoor, outdoor, it doesn't matter. I don't think it's going to do well in wind at all. It's just not got enough speed to be able to overwhelm a good gust. You might be able to get away in flying in dead calm. The other thing too is it is very robust. I mean, this tail is made of carbon fiber. It's very strong. The weight is just nothing. There's just nothing to it. These things are flexible, which is really nice. The gear on here is probably going to be the most vulnerable. It's got a brushed motor, which is kind of a bummer, but at the same time, price point wise, technology wise, I cannot believe how much is packed into this. Now let's take off the hood here. That is really easy. You can see the antenna is tucked in here and protected. There's a Wi-Fi plug. What the heck? What? And then there's the funny little plug. And then of course there's your USB style. I
really like that battery design, like for kids.
I do for kids, but I hate the design because I can't use my other batteries. So that part I hate, but I love the idea that it's super easy to get in there. And I can tell you one thing, guys. Getting batteries into every single helicopter is a pain. I mean, they're not all that bad. Some are bad. Some are horrible. Some are worse.
Most are bad.
Most are bad.
At least.
This thing is very easy to use. It's very fun to fly. I think it looks good. It's got an LED, which is nice. I'd kind of like a front-facing LED. Kind of reminds me of the SEMA. You remember the SEMA? I forget the number, but it was super popular for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it was
really like, incredibly easy to fly. That was
several years ago.
That was a coaxial helicopter too. Wasn't it? I think it was.
It all blends together. I think we should see if it'll charge on a phone charger.
You want to take one for the team?
People are going to do it.
Okay.
Don't you think?
We can try it. No, I don't think we should, but we're going to try it for you, YouTube. Coming back in just a second. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to read this verbatim, okay? Note, using the original factory USB charger can ensure charging safety. Can. Suggest, this is a new sentence, should suggest you use the original factory USB charger part. Other chargers may cause battery damage and property damage. Okay, so like you suggest, we suggest, I don't know.
But if you put it in your mouth, you
I have
die.
another line for you. Do not put any parts in the mouth. It will cause injury or death.
Will. We don't have to test that part though.
All right, here goes nothing. So it's not smoking yet. It's not getting hot yet. So I think what's gonna happen, guys, is that, okay, here's what's gonna happen. You can probably charge it for a short period of time like that, and here's why. This is really gonna be the ticket, okay? On this Asus charger, it says that the output is 5.2 volts at 1.35 amps. This is a 300 milliamp hour pack. There is some active circuitry in here, I believe, that may be controlling the charge rate. However, this thing is going to keep giving voltage after it's done charging. So I don't know if that charger over there is actually talking to this battery and vice versa. I kind of doubt it. So really, if that thing puts out 3.7 volts and we're trying to charge this to 4.2 volts, I just don't see that happening because I know about electronics and they wouldn't have any way of doing that in a small package like this. So it's possible, but it's very unlikely. So I believe what's actually happening is the output on that little charger is probably about 4.2 volts instead of the standard 5 or 5.2 or 5.1 or 5.4 or whatever it is that you get of a standard USB port. So the recommendation of the day is going to be don't use your regular charger to charge these for two reasons. One, you're putting out up to 1.35 amp hours on this particular charger. Some are 2 amps, some are 2.5, some are more, okay? We just happen to use this a lot because it's from an older tablet, so it's got a little bit less output. We have one that charges at about 1.5 amps. That would still be, this is only 300 milliamp hours. 1.5 would be 1500 milliamp hours. So it's quite a bit larger than this battery calls for. So it's a good idea to probably, for safety reasons, in this case, don't stick it in your mouth. You will get injured or die, I promise. And this one must be done because the light went off. But I would recommend using this, okay? So this one's supposedly done and this one's not. So we'll plug this one in to this USB output. That's a 5 volts at 1 amp. See the light flicker? Now we're gonna plug this in. Okay, so we see the light go on. Now let's see what happens. This one over here, look, this one over here, we plug it in and no light comes on. So that tells you it's done charging. So now we can charge this one, okay? So it's charging. Okay. So now the other thing too is if you're anything like me, you have 450,000 chargers for 1 million different planes. I would like to use my expensive, nice chargers for something like this. The only way you're going to be able to do that is if you figure out exactly what they're doing once you get past this pin. And I don't really have any interest in digging and reverse engineering that. My guess is it's just a standard LiPo and they have a little circuit in there, a bridge rectifier. So I'm not going to screw with it that far. This thing is awesome. You definitely should get one. Check the link in the description below. Don't try to use your wife's cell phone charger. You're going to regret it. If you do insist on trying this, you didn't hear it from me, but try it in your garage with an extension cord out of your garage and a bucket of water close by, because you're going to probably catch it on fire. Any other thoughts, camera crew?
Well, I was just thinking they should order 2 because nobody's going to want to share one with their kid.
That's exactly
so you should
right.
Order one for you and one for
Order
your
one
kid.
for you and the kids. Okay, so off, back on, throttle stick up, down, all the corners. Okay, here we go. One touch, take off. That is so cool. Guys, that is so cool. It's so easy. And that's not just hype, guys. I mean, I fly a lot of things and I enjoy flying a lot of different things. This is really fun because it takes no energy to learn to do it. You just do it. And if you're a good pilot already, it's still fun because you can get one for yourself. And then as the kids are screwing around trying to figure out how to charge the batteries dangerously, you can be flying. And it's very cool.
Yep.
And it's actually a pretty helicopter too, I think.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Extremely light. Let's see if we can give them a good shot of the heli and of myself. It says to keep a safe distance of 2 meters. So I figure is this about 2 meters? About 2 meters?
That's about right.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Is there anything else? Look how stable it is. This is just ridiculous. They're never that stable. This is awesome. I totally can Enrique this at any time. So let's go ahead and yaw it. It keeps you away from the always having the tail sticking at you too when it's this easy to fly. And if you're gonna fly close to your face, put on some safety glasses. It's just so easy, and I'm holding the stick down. That shuts the motor off after 2 to 3 seconds. Let's try a one touch from my hand. That is so cool. There's gotta be a barometer in there, guys, because there's no way it would be able to make these altitude decisions without a barometer. I think it thinks it's on the ground now. Did you see that? There was a hesitation about ground level from where my hand had been. So it is a little bit different to land because you can't really instruct it to shut the throttle off. So let's try it here. In a tight spot, it's a little bit tricky. But as you can see, no problem. Got it down just fine. All right, I'm gonna stop talking because this is really fun. I gotta show my kids. Thanks for watching. Buy one. Get it ordered now. It takes a while to ship from Banggood, okay? Just order your 3 or 4 or whatever you think you need and get it today. That way you get it in time for Christmas morning. This thing is a blast.